All right. Hello. Welcome to Awaken Your Spirit. My name is Bridget Harrington. I appreciate everybody who will watch this or maybe watching this now. Today, I am going to introduce a guest I have with me, Julia Treat, who I asked to come on because I seen that her career is right up my alley of interests and really want to pursue in the future. So, I guess you can go ahead and introduce yourself, Julia.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks for inviting me on. And my lighting is a little weird here, but first of all, I love the name of your show, Awaken Your Spirit.
Thank you.
I think that's what we are all doing right now,
Absolutely.
including myself. Making a lot of shifts and changes. And so, just to give you backstory, I started a podcast. Well, I wrote a book, Stepping into the Light. And it's actually on Amazon. If anybody wants to check it out, just put Julia Treat Stepping into the Light. But it's kind of my story of how I open to my abilities and my gifts to connect, with God, with source, with animals, with it all. And I didn't do that growing up that I can recall. But again, I think a lot of us are starting to realize the programming that started and the conditioning, the limiting beliefs that started happening, so that we didn't really tune in to that frequency. So when I did awaken to my abilities, I really started, I found a mentor to help me learn how to harness them, how to use them. And I've been doing that for several years now. Wrote my book about it, published it in 2015. And that's when I started my podcast, which I'm going to say to you and anyone else that I don't know where you are in your journey, but anyone getting started, you just keep showing up and talking and sharing, because I remember when I had one person listen to my podcast and I celebrated as if it was 1 million. And I'm now reaching 1 million downloads. So, we have been conditioned to have this give up spirit. And I tell everyone out there, don't ever give up on your dreams. Whatever you want to do, but your dreams need you. They need you to put the momentum forward, right? They need your energy. And so that's the name of your show, Awaken Your Spirit. We're all being forced to really look at ourselves and what is it that I want to do now? And I assume you're going through that as well.
Absolutely. That's where I'm right. I'm right there. So I'm just starting. I have awakened, I'd say like 5 years ago, but I've been fighting and having resistance in myself. I'm like really following my heart and following what I know source spirit wants me to do due to programming and conditioning and a lot of things that have held me back. So now I'm just going all in. I'm just going to do it. And that's why I appreciate you coming on and giving me your time. It's so amazing to hear things like that. When I got the chills when you said, go for it, even if you have one person, because now you have 1 million. That's incredible.
Because I never stopped. I picked my lane, which was my podcast at the time, which it actually makes so much sense now because I'm never censored on my podcast platform. So I found that fascinating. And I'm going to take everyone with me when I take my dog outside, because this is just how life is, right? We're working from home and she's going to keep staring at me until I let her out. So when I opened to my abilities, I didn't even know what that meant. And I opened to my abilities when I was at rock bottom. And I think sometimes, not everyone, but sometimes we have to get to rock bottom before we'll call out to God. I called out to God and said, I need a lifeline. And I need a lifeline. I was losing everything, my marriage, my health, everything. And again, testament that we can come back from anything. Again, it is within us. And so when I called out for that lifeline, I started understanding what I was doing to myself, the things I was saying to myself every day. And God showed me how, and God is in all of us, right? We're all created from that source, from God. And I had to have everything removed before I would be able to see. And that was my story. I guess I was so stubborn. But when it appears we're losing everything, it really is that awakening. That is our awakening happening. And so all of that had to fall away, because that was not part of my amazing future. And it taught me so much, number one, how to let go of control and really, I think it's important for everyone right now. We're all being forced to look within, because we've been looking out here for everything to make us happy.
Right.
This thing, this person, I got to find it. I'm not happy. I'm going to find it out there somewhere. And it really is inside of us. Mm-hmm. So when we do that inner work, I always say this: if you want to change anything in your life, or you want to call on your soulmate, or change your relationship with your soulmate, work on you, and you will change everything in your existence.
Absolutely. I agree with that. And I also hit a rock bottom 5 years ago. So I've been sober for 4 years now, but you can just, that's what happened to me. Right. So complete rock bottom, completely desperate, completely didn't think I would ever make it out. Didn't ever think things were going to get better, but and when you're desperate, like you said, you reach out for that lifeline, God. That's when we all start to believe, because we have nothing else, right? And thank God, it was the best thing that I ever did, was getting sober. And here I am today, following my heart and following my dreams, and trying to, do what I'm supposed to be doing. But yeah, I had to hit a rock bottom, like you said. So that's I feel like that's a lot of people's story too. Also, can I ask you, like, what were you doing, like, before you had this awakening? Just like normal life, or you just
Yeah, I was I had a lot of gigs that I did. I mean, but I was a speech pathologist. I have a master's degree in that, and I was doing speech pathology with babies and toddlers for several years, with swallowing issues. If they had feeding tubes, I'd help them get off the tubes. A lot of speech and language things. I worked really to 3 years old, and I had my awakening. What I mean as an awakening is just, I don't know, I got to be able to sense my angelic family around me, could connect with departed souls. There's nothing I ever I wasn't asking for this. It just started happening. And so,
great.
The little kid, the interesting though, the toddlers would often look over my head and just start smiling or giggling. And sometimes they'd wave. And my mentor said, there's little angels around your head, and they can see them because they're still so connected. Mm-hmm. And I was known as like the miracle worker with speech therapy, because kids usually, if they worked with me, they didn't move on to the next level. They were kicked out. They didn't need it anymore. But in hindsight, I was realizing, because I connect very strongly with the angelic realm, the archangels and the good angels, the good ones, the ones that are taking care of business here. And so I realized that was my team of angels, I feel, that would go in and work with these children with me. Mm-hmm. And it just got to where I couldn't do both anymore. And so I threw it out there, because I'm supposed to shift out of this job where I see one child, I can see so many children in a week, bring the money or the abundance that will support me as I shift into what I call my spiritual work. But really, that was spiritual work too. It was just a different type of spiritual work. So my calendar started filling up for readings and sessions, and I had to make the choice. And it was one of the most difficult I've ever made, because I felt like I was leaving those families. Mm-hmm. But now, again, looking back, serving, 15 to 20 children at one given time, but now I'm getting the voice out there to many more to help them change their life. And I also had to realize, I'm not the only one that can do this. Someone will take my place and take care of them, because we get into that like I'm the one. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I did make that shift. I'm sorry, I did not know my FaceTime was on. That's weird, because I don't even know where that came from. Apologize.
Was it me? It might have been me.
No, it said, "Hey, Julia," and I'm like, huh? My phone's turned off.
So now
you make those choices, and it's for the greater good, whatever those choices are.
Absolutely, yes. So, like, how you've been serving humanity from a 3D perspective out in the real physical world, and now you've shifted to a place where you can help multiples or in a global scale all around the place. And I feel like that's a lot of what's going on right now for a lot of different people, is shifting the perspective from going out into the external world, the 3D world, and really bringing it to a 5D business, right? Or serving in a 5D way. Does that resonate with you? What does that mean to you, 5D?
I think none of us really understand that yet, but I do believe we will soon.
Right.
With everything going on in the world, we're going to find out real quick what that means. But
right.
I kind of feel, another thing, I started channeling a group of children. They call themselves the Rainbow Crew, and they are some of the children. They are a group of the children that are coming to carry forward, the new earth as we create it. And so they have guided me throughout my journey as well. And just so your audience knows, I'm very connected with Jesus or Yeshua and Mary Magdalene. That's just my team, my crew, and that Christ energy. Mm-hmm. So moving forward, I've spent the past 2 years, actually, I had my awakening of kind of what's going on in the world. So I actually spent the last 2 years really questioning myself. I had to really understand. I think that's one of the best things anyone can do that's out in the public eye, is if you have something come up, I think it's best if we question ourselves, because we need to make sure we really are doing God's work. And so I have the privilege of helping others step into their gifts and abilities and awaken. Like last week in my monthly group, I helped them. They learned how to do automatic writing. I took them into, I call it a blue hallway. I know it sounds so childish, but I love being in that child zone. I think growing up is a trap, first of all.
Yes.
But the blue hallway, I've described it to people. It's like this electric blue energy, and it's this never-ending hallway with a chair. Some people go, "Oh, that's Metatron's cube. Oh, that's quantum something." I go, I don't know, but it's a blue hallway. But now taking people to those spaces and places and getting out of here, as far as we do need to still have that critical mind, but expanding beyond what they think they can do. And it's just so fun to watch them just be blown away with, oh my gosh, I just got an answer to that question I wrote down, and I've never done this before. So, just staying in that lane as far as helping people expand out of this third dimensional BS story that we've been fed. And then also helping them make those physical breaks from that third dimensional.
Right.
So, that can be different thing for different people. Separating from the narcissist, stopping the people pleasing. This is where we totally screwed everything up. And getting to within, the love for yourself, loving your soul. So, did I answer the question?
Yeah, you did, kind of. So you said we don't really understand what the term 5D means or anything, and it could mean so many other things, right?
Well, I think we all have different ideas of what it could mean, and it could be all of that. I still think we're thinking it from a limited space.
Yeah,
it could look physically like this, but also be something different. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. It's all in theory, but that's what I love about it, is just to hear different people's perception of what is really happening, because there are so many things and thoughts that I have inside my head that I've been going throughout these couple years that I don't really have anyone to share with exactly. My dad, I share everything with him. We talk about insane, crazy things together. But yeah, I love to hear what other people are actually thinking about it, because I feel like everyone in the world can relate to something happening. A shift is going on, right? A shift is happening, and it's within every single person. So it's all about how we're perceiving it. And I tend to look at it as a good thing. Obviously, I'm not blinded to the terrible things going on. I've been very aware of that stuff for a long time, but I tend to think that we're heading in a better direction. And that is why I'm pursuing this kind of a show, just to create a channel and a safe space to meet other people like you that we kind of think the same, and we can just bounce ideas off each other and, know that we're not alone and that we're not crazy, right? This is happening.
I'm so crazy. Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and I've been kind of preparing everybody on my podcast to just, humanity's about to wake up completely all at once, and it's an awesome thing that's going to happen. And it's fine. It's really taking really great care of yourself right now. And if things are bringing you down or putting you in a bad place of worry or fear, you have to actually stop watching or listening to any of that. Okay. Because that is what you then will call in. And It is fear porn out there right now. And so, I spend my days walking outside. The squirrels follow me because I have little peanuts that I feed them. But I go outside and spend time with the animals. I take, Epsom salt baths to just clear my energy. I do have to share this, and this wasn't even, I didn't even know you were into ASEA, but I see your ticker, and so I have to share that.
Yes, please do.
Yes, this is something I believe a gift from God, because how it was created, it's amazing, this cell signaling. So this is something else myself and my partner of 15 years, he and I both, I don't know what to call him anymore. I call him boyfriend. It sounds more like fun. We've lived together for quite a while, but when we heard about ASEA, and you don't even know this about me, probably. I had a dream about this a year before I learned about it. So
Really?
Beginning of what's going on with all these things and all the stuff, the stuff going around, I just started praying. I was praying. I said, we need a miracle. We need a miracle, God. We need a miracle for those that don't get it. We need a miracle for those that do get it. We just don't need a miracle right now. Mm-hmm. And all I knew was it was a bottle, and we'd be drinking it. Now there's lots of things out there. This is just what I was led to. So I'm not telling everyone this is the only thing.
Right.
I think it's one of the best things. But a year later, I saw friends of mine talking about it on their show, and I was like, and I knew instantly. I went to a meeting with Jay and Danielle. She's one of the top people in the company. I just listened to her story, how she had a TBI that they had gone as far as they could with. She had a cognitive therapist. Now, that's a speech pathologist. I know what that is. And I understand when we get people to a certain point and we can't get them any further. This broke that. This took her back to, I'm going to say better, Danielle. But so I started her story alone. I couldn't even sleep that night. I was so excited because I knew this was it. And so we ordered it and we got started. We've been on it for probably 8 months now, maybe 8 or 9. Neither one of us, we would kind of maybe once in a while get a cold or maybe the flu or something once in a while. We're pretty healthy, but this is reversing. I do believe this is age reversing us. And so I don't know how much research. I know you've done some research in it if you're promoting.
So I just literally 9:30 a.m. I just interviewed Danielle. So and that was like I've met her in passing time before, but that was the first time I, heard her story. And I also got the opportunity to interview Dr. David yesterday.
Yes, I love Dr. David.
Awesome. Yeah. So my dad got me in on the ASEA stuff. Like and I kind of ignored him for a while, but finally I ended up starting it. I've probably been on it for like 6 months, and I can't agree more. I have raised my frequency for sure, protecting my energy. I feel better, the best I ever had. I have a life force that's lit up in me, and I haven't felt that good since I can't remember, right?
Same here. And I just turned 54 this past summer, and there's no way, like, I feel better than I did in my 20s. So.
Wow. Ooh, that's so exciting. How weird that we both are connected to this.
I know, that wasn't even planned. We didn't even know. I didn't know you were in.
I know. Yeah. Wow. How crazy.
When I saw your ticker, I'm like, oh, good. We're going to talk about ASEA today.
Yes.
And I tell people who have tried this or are using this, like I say, you know how good you feel. I look at it as our responsibility to share whatever we find. And that's why you're doing the show. That's why I started my podcast. We share what helped us heal and what's helping us. So I feel it's our responsibility. So bravo, because there'll be other things that come down the pipeline that you'll be sharing about as they show up in your life. So
absolutely.
This is, you do need to look at this, people. Just check this out, contact Bridget, but she'll send some videos to you. You're going to be blown away just with the testimonials. I mean, I'm talking reversing just about anything and everything. that I've seen.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why it was so, hard to believe and hard to, it's like, whatever, right? At first. But no, actually, not whatever. I had the experience I've shared like a bunch, but with a rash on my hand. So I had to be physically, see it, right, to believe it. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that also have that analytical mind like me. So that's how I got involved in it. Once I saw it work in my physical body, I was like, okay, I'll try the drink. And then since I've tried the drink, I'm just like, this is it. I love this stuff. I feel so good. I feel good. And you're right. I have to share it. And I've learned that at the fundamental level of, getting sober.
Sorry, my dogs. They're barking. They're starting to bark. I apologize, everyone. This is
okay.
life. This is just real life. I'm not going to
exactly.
somewhere.
The dogs bark, right?
Well, I have to say, since I am led to things, and I've known that for a very long time. Well, since I awakened, I really am led to things. So I knew since I had that dream, when I asked for the prayer, I was praying for the miracle, and I had that sight or that dream vision of the thing that we would drink. So I always felt that I was led to this too, which has helped a lot of my family members who, they did get these, and they are just some who are having some issues afterwards. And so it's actually reversing what they have going on, the things that are happening to them, to their bodies. So it's truly is a miracle in a bottle.
So tell me about your podcast. What do you talk about? Like, is it every day? How often do you do it? And what inspired you to start that?
I love it. Love your questions. Okay. My podcast is usually once a week. I try to stay once a week. Once in a great while, I might miss a week, but once a week. It is also called Stepping into the Light. I'm keeping it real simple.
Nice.
And at the time, realizing on my journey, even having my awakening a couple of years ago, what's going on, I knew it's so much bigger than I ever thought what stepping into the light really meant, which is the truth and ascending. And we ascend through the truth by seeing the truth, knowing the truth. That is how we ascend. So it's once a week. It might be a guided meditation. It might be something I found out, and hey, you might want to look at this. Or I call one segment I call Angel Investigations. I see things, and I would say the angels just help me see things. I don't know what to do with these dogs, and so I'm sorry to everybody because they usually aren't like this.
That's okay. They must hear
Angel Investigations. Come on, babies. Come on, Gracie. Grace, come on. I caught a pedophile at a water park.
Really?
So, and I got to tell you, because it's a fascinating story. I've always been, for the children, and we were at the water park with my boyfriend's 3 daughters and my nephews, and they're all getting ready to ride that lazy river ride on the inner tube. And I decided to sit back. Again, I want to say that things happen for a reason. It really is for a reason. And so I'm facing them. They're getting ready to go on the ride. And I see this man stop. And he just turns real quick, takes a camera, pulls it out of his pocket, and takes a picture of their backsides, his daughters. And I was like, wait, what? What just happened? And then I saw him turn and take pictures of 5 little girls walking away holding hands. And I'm like, what in the? So I started yelling for security. I just knew something was creepy. I chased the man. Number one, I don't have fear. I chased him. Security took over. But what ended up happening, they caught him at the front gate. And they came and found me and said, ma'am, we did find him. I said, just please get rid of those pictures. I don't know what he plans to do with those. He was on the news. He was one of the biggest child porn pedophile rings in the Northeast Pennsylvania area. And I caught him just because I happened to be looking in that direction at that time.
Wow.
And he went away for, I think, his life. But so even like when we talk about we can be guided to things or led, it can be even something like that.
Exactly. Wow. That's amazing for you to be there right then and there to see that. I mean, good for you. Get that guy out of here. Oh my God.
So even that would be a story on my podcast. Like I am real. I'm raw. I tell it like it is. And hoping that I can help people on their journey and know that we're all going through the same stuff. We're all going through the same stuff. None of us are higher, better, bigger than anyone else. Right. This has nothing to do with fame. It has to do with just how can I'll tell my story, and that's going to help people heal. Guess what? It helped me heal because I found my voice finally.
Right.
And so talking about everything in my life pretty much. And someone might say, I know you were talking to me tonight. One woman, she emailed me one night and she said, I just listened to your podcast. She said it was about your friend who was so sensitive. She actually took her own life. And she said, I was just about to do that. And now and I said, what's your phone number? And I called her and she said, hearing that message about my friend, she said, it literally saved my life. So man, you just get those moments, those goosebump moments. Even with the Sia, how people have said this has saved my life. Right. Goosebump moments is that's the payment. That's the payment.
Exactly. And I've learned that at a very fundamental level of, I was able to stay sober because of other people who did it before me and shared their story with me. Right. And that is how I was able to get sober, stay sober. And then in turn, I still help other people get sober by sharing my story. And so I understand that works, right? It changes lives. Just one person, soul to soul, helping another person. And so if I can find the courage and to share my story, my experiences, and speak from my heart, and that could help other people, I'm here for it. That's I think what I'm here for. And it's just finding that courage with consistency, and also losing the fear. I wish I was like you. I wish I, had no fear.
Oh,
I will.
I was so scared when I first started all this stuff, like scared as far as, oh, I'm gonna come out and say that, because you are opening yourself up to ridicule for the people that don't believe in that. But that also helps you, I don't want to say get thick skin, because it's nothing like armor, but that helps you because you have to rely on you. Okay, so I am the only, so here's awaken your spirit. What does that mean? We think, what does that mean? Awaken my spirit. Even we have a choice at every moment. And I was, I've had a migraine since 4 a.m. I don't have it now. From 4 a.m. until when I started emailing you this morning, about 6 hours. And I had a choice right then. Okay, is this going to be like, I can't do it because I have this migraine because it's really bad. I get them very rarely, but they're bad when I get them. And I just said, no, I'm going on the show. It's going to be fine. And it went away like that. Just went up. It just left. So even that, awaken your spirit. I told myself, I chose the way I wanted it to be. Right? We have so much power. We have so much power. As soon as we just get out of this negative, or, oh, I got a migraine, I don't know if I'm going to be able to talk today. And I'm like, screw that. No, I'm going.
Right.
So we have to be our biggest cheerleader. We have to push ourselves, okay? Because we have been programmed to fail.
Right.
We've been programmed to give up. We've been programmed not to believe in ourselves. We've been programmed to think God's mad at us, that we're not worthy. We've been programmed for all of that. And so that's breaking free from the matrix. That's the breaking out of the third dimensional BS, is breaking free from that conditioning. Okay, that's breaking free. People say, well, we're on 5D with this. I'm like, but you are supposed to be working on you and finding out what your stories are, and that's how you break free. There's people living the 5D life. 5D, just think of 5D as just bliss and love and fun and joy. And there's a lot of people doing that right now because they've broken free from all of that.
Right.
They stopped watching the fear porn. They stopped blaming people. You really have to get out of victimhood. And Bridget, you've been there. I've been there. I was a victim. I'm sick now. All the stuff. And we're the only ones that we're here to take care of our own business and break free.
Absolutely. Yeah. I can relate to that. And that's something that I like to share with other people all the time about breaking out of victimhood, because I lived there for a very long time and it kept me very sick and messed up for a really long time, because I blamed everything and everyone around me, my parents, my ex-boyfriend, my abusers, my this, and that. And not to say that doesn't affect people, but I wouldn't look at myself, and I ran away from looking at myself for as long as I possibly could until I couldn't anymore. And I was literally left with nothing but looking at myself. And it was the most empowering thing I could have ever done in my life, right? Because now I'm empowered. I have taken back all my power, and anything that does happen in my life, I don't have a finger to point at anyone. It all comes back here. What can I fix? What can I make right? What did I do wrong? And what can I do better? Like, and then I'm empowered, and then I can move forward. And it's always best for not only me but everyone else around me, my relationships, my children. It does no good blaming anyone else. And I still have the program of blame in me, but consciously I can pick and choose. Like you said, I can choose to stay empowered, but the blame program is still like ingrained in me. Like anything happens, my kids, what are you doing? So yeah, I mean, it's still there. I'm not like totally just 100% conscious 24/7, but there's a choice. When I can tap into the present moment and become conscious, I am so empowered, and I can choose how it is. And that's where I'm at right now. And I love that so much that you just mentioned that.
Yeah, I want to share something that helps me too. If something comes my way, and one of those, oh, wasn't expecting that. Where'd that come from? Something we would think, we don't want. If you just say, what is this here to teach me? What is this here to teach me? Because this is here to teach me something. And so if we just put that out there to the universe, what's this here to teach me? You might know all of a sudden, but it might be something makes sense the next day, or you meet someone, or the next door opens. And so, oh, now I know why that one had to close. So what is this here to teach me? And that really takes us out of victimhood into, this is a learning experience. So allow myself to learn. So that's just one of the things I tell, my family, I don't call them students. It's my family. I just say, keep asking, what is this here to teach me? And then learn from it. Learn.
Right.
Whatever that is.
Absolutely. Yeah. Everything is learning. And I'm right here, right now. I'm learning a whole new experience of sharing and connecting with others online. This is new to me. This is uncomfortable for me. But I know I'm right where I'm supposed to be. And that's what I'm here for. I'm just here to learn from other people and also share whatever experience I can. And I really, really appreciate. So other than your podcast, I wanted to ask you, I saw that you do past life regression. Do you still do that?
I do. Yeah, I do have life regression. Okay. I have, through my work now, I kind of lean into past lives, that it breaks past life memories, past lives, or past lies, programmed lies. So, so I can clarify on that. I do believe a lot of us have had certain experiences, and we can remember that in past life regression. But doing the work then and having people coming forth as the same soul, I'm not getting into timeline stuff, and you could be 12 different Jesuses or whatever. Like I'm just going to stick with what I'm learning. That also could have been something programmed within us to believe that we went through that, but it would be enough to stop us dead in our tracks, right? So it could be enough that we don't do our purpose, whatever that is. And so I do past life regression. My website just got attacked. A malicious attack is what they said. So my website is down. It is juliatreat.com. But I have stepped back from it because I was just getting ready to kind of do things different. And so I was like, wow, you're giving me time now to just step back, and I can really kind of figure out what it is that I want to do now. That's for everyone right now, is if you don't like what you're doing or it's not fulfilling you, do something else. You've got to find something else. It's not about serving and servitude. You got to love what you're doing. And so I've really been taking time to say, do I even want that website anymore? Do I, my vision's always been manifesting a retreat for children, several retreats, which I'm in the process of doing. And it's just coming in now that I want it to be like retreats, like here in the mountains with a horse sanctuary. So I was like, wow, okay, there's another piece coming in now. So I'm even going through this big shift and metamorphosis with everyone else, and kind of taking out, maybe I did this because it paid the bills, and I'm really just tired of that paying my bills right now. Or there's just things that I'm even letting go of. So I do past life regression. I do readings. whether it's, I am a psychic, I get stuff for future, I get next steps, I get, this might help, not might help. They'll actually literally tell you the next steps. One woman, she was told by the doctors, a lot of it's mindset. A lot of it's mindset that comes through. But the doctors told her she would never get pregnant because she wasn't physically able to. I don't know if it was organs. I don't know what the story was, but I always saw her with a child. And so I worked with her in a session, and it came through. I'll say this for anyone that's wanting to get pregnant. Hang up a little onesie, a boy and a girl, if you just have one of each, because we're not going to decide what we're going to get. But she hung up the little onesies, and I said, you right by your bed, you talk to them every day. You just tell mommy and daddy are ready whenever they're ready to come. Yes, she had to have sex. It wasn't like a miracle pregnancy like that. She and her husband, she emailed me 3 weeks later, and she said she was pregnant, and her daughter just turned 1 in November. So
wow.
Again, testament that we can change anything, right?
Absolutely.
Her whole life she was told she wouldn't be a mom, and she wanted to be, and she was in her early mid 40s. So that's not even a big deal. Like, they tell us all BS.
Right.
So miracles can happen. They happen all the time. And if they're not happening for us, we need to understand what are we doing? What are we believing? What's our belief? You can believe you're gonna get all this and then sit and watch Netflix for 5 hours. That's not an energetic match for bringing in what you want. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, we have to be an energetic match for what we want.
Yes, and I've learned that too. I started with breaking down like my old belief systems, because I truly didn't know, and I didn't understand that everything that happened in my life was based on what I believed to be true. And so I started letting go of old beliefs that didn't serve me anymore. And now my belief system is, does this belief serve me? Is it serving me in a better way, or is it time to let this belief go? And then also, like you said, aligning energetically, because that was a piece that I was missing for some time. I'm like thinking, I'm wanting, I'm believing. Why is it not happening? Well, because I'm not energetic aligned, and I'm also not taking aligned action. It's just due to fear and other things. So yeah, that's an important piece. I think that I'm finally letting go. It's really more about letting go and just taking the next right action in the direction that I would like to go with my life, and just putting myself out there, getting vulnerable, and hopefully helping other people throughout the process. Though that's the internal messages I get. So I'm just hoping, whatever,
you're getting here for the kids. And for me, waiting for the retreat to show up to serve the kids was like, okay, well, so I launched Speranza Academy. They told me that was the name of the retreat. I didn't even know what Speranza meant. I had to look it up, and it means hope. Hope in Italian.
Wow.
So that's Speranza Academy. So now I have this online school, Speranza Academy, and I teach sometimes once a week. But I'm not going to say teaching. I'm more just helping them express and be who they are. And I just taught Reiki kids last week, and the things the kids, they're so cute. They're like, I know I'm here to heal the world. I just forgot where my on switch was. I mean, it's just the cutest things ever. And then coloring through the class and making a heart machine, because we're just going to spread love everywhere. I'm like, this is my tribe. These are my kids I'm supposed to work with. So,
yeah, I've always said, I mean, if we could reach the kids at that level, at their age, and like teach them these things that now we're as adults trying to learn and embody and integrate into our lives, and we get them then. So what you're doing, that's incredible work. That's really important too.
And they're here to teach us, because little Mia, she comes to every one of my classes. She's in 3rd grade. And I just say, explain your picture to me. Like, oh, tell me all about that. She had 3 things drawn. And the 3rd thing, it was a mirror. She said, this is a rainbow mirror that when people look into it, they know what to do and they're not worried anymore. And I said, she's brilliant. That's us looking in the mirror at us.
Yes.
It's looking in the mirror. And one of the exercises that I always start out with my clients is, you start looking in that mirror and just say, I love you so much. I love you so much. Just start telling yourself you love yourself all day long. And I used to cry when I would do that, because I didn't. But man, it starts shifting into this love, and that's where the Christ and the God and all that within us is. And
Right.
so these children, it's an honor, a privilege. I get to hang out with them, and they're teaching me things, how you would say it in a kid's terms, right? Versus an adult. I mean, it all is the same message, but I just love it.
It's simplified and it makes more sense, that
Yeah.
children,
Just
if
look
children
in the mirror, the rainbow mirror, you'll know what to do. I'm like, wow.
Right. Wow, very powerful.
She knows that she doesn't have to look out there for everything. She's like, look in the mirror.
Exactly. And we're trying to learn that. And I've always said that too, that when I'm consciously trying to parent, not all the time, like I said, I have these programs for my life, but consciously I'm learning for them. They're teaching me. That's the truth. They're teaching me how to be more in the moment. They're teaching me how to let go, how to just have fun, how to use my imagination, how to be creative. They're teaching me those things. I don't know those things anymore. So I'm learning from them, right?
Growing up is a trap. It's a program. We're supposed to be having fun every single day.
Right, exactly. All right, Julia, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate your
having
time
me
very much. And anytime you would like to, reconnect and have another conversation, I'd totally be honored. So I appreciate you.
Yeah. I'll just say, if anyone wants to get a hold of me for anything I mentioned or even to chat, just email support@juliatreat.com.
Okay.
So just email me, and if you say, gosh, I want to check out that session, we can hook up and we'll take care of it. But until I decide what I'm doing with my website, I'm not in a rush for anything right now.
Okay. That's awesome.
Thank
I
you.
will also put that in the comments.
Thank you.
You said it's support@juliatreat.com?
Support with the @ support@juliatreat.com.
Okay, I'll add that to the comments too. Yeah, and then anybody who's listening or will hear this, if you're interested in anything we talked about with this blue bottle, ASEA, we will both be glad to talk with anybody. My number is in the chat. And I appreciate anyone listening. If you could subscribe, hit the bell, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks.
See you, Julia. Bye.